Ever feel like you're capable of so much more, but like there's something holding you back, some invisible ceiling, like a mental traffic jam,
Right.
and it's clogging up all your potential? Well, today we're going to dive deep into this world of NLP and rapid change, specifically something called the Clear Resolution Method. See if we can unlock some serious personal growth, right?
And the really exciting part is we're not talking about years and years on a therapist's couch, We're talking often noticeable shifts within like a single session.
Yeah, exactly, like fast results, which is where Chris Richardson comes in, our guide for this deep dive. He's an NLP practitioner, certified in rapid resolution therapy, and the founder of this Clear Resolution Method we're talking about. But he's not just, following someone else's playbook, right? He's actually developed his own unique techniques over decades. We're talking 33 years of studying hypnosis, 25 years with NLP, and he's trained with, like, the leading figures in the field, Dr. Richard Bandler, Dr. John Connolly.
And that's a key point, I think, because Chris blends this incredibly deep well of expertise with a really nuanced understanding of how, like, the human mind actually operates. So it's not about just putting a Band-Aid on your problems, It's about really, like, helping you rewrite your internal code, so to speak, for lasting change.
Okay, so let's unpack this whole NLP thing a bit. Now, I'm sure you've probably heard the term before, right? Neuro-linguistic programming. But I think for a lot of people, it can seem kind of, well, technical, maybe?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's one of those terms, right? Sounds very clinical. But at its heart, NLP is really just a practical toolkit. It's about understanding the connections, those links between your thoughts, the language you use, and ultimately your behavior.
So it's not just some, like, abstract theory, but something you can actually use, like tools, to make actual changes in your life.
Exactly, tangible shifts. And that's what I think makes Chris's clear resolution method so fascinating. He takes these, powerful NLP techniques and combines them with other approaches like rapid resolution therapy, even hypnosis, to create these really personalized transformations. It's pretty amazing.
Okay, now I'll admit, when I first heard hypnosis, like, I picture the whole swinging pocket watch thing,
Yeah.
and people clucking like chickens, that sort of thing. But this is different, right? This isn't that.
It is different, yeah. We're definitely not talking about stage hypnosis here. This is about gently guiding you into a relaxed state. And in that state, you can actually access your unconscious mind, right?
Oh.
That's the place where all those deep-seated patterns and beliefs kind of live. The stuff that might be holding you back without you even realizing it, you know what I mean?
So it's like you're tapping into the source code of your mind almost.
That's a great analogy. I like that. And that's where all of Chris's expertise with RRT really comes in, rapid resolution therapy, because it's all about like quickly, effectively identifying and shifting those limiting beliefs that we've been talking about.
I bet some people listening are thinking, okay, this sounds amazing, but does it really work that fast? Like, how is that even possible?
Right. Well, so there's this story about Chris at Burning Man. Talk about a challenging environment to do this work, right? He was there and he was clearing people's issues in like 10 minutes during a dust storm.
Oh,
So, I mean, if NLP and hypnosis can work there.
clearing issues in a dust storm. Yeah, that sounds like the ultimate test. So let's say someone's listening and they're dealing with something specific, like insomnia. We've all been there. Or maybe they just feel stuck or unconfident. How does Chris actually use this clear resolution method to help them?
Okay, yeah, good question. So let's take insomnia. You mentioned that. So there's Meredith. She's a great example. She hadn't slept properly in 6 months, relied on medication just to get a little bit of sleep.
Yeah.
Totally hopeless, right? But after just one session with Chris, she saw this huge improvement. And then within a few more sessions, the insomnia was gone completely. She was finally able to reclaim her sleep, which, let me tell you, is huge. She was able to reclaim her life.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Like from hopeless to sleeping soundly in, what, a matter of sessions? That's amazing.
It is amazing. And then there's like Jay. He struggled with ADHD. Instead of seeing it as this disorder, Chris helped him reframe it to see it as having what he called a high horsepower mind, a mind that just needed to be like channeled effectively,
I like that idea of reframing challenges. It really resonates with me because it's like shifting your perspective, right? From what's wrong with me to how can I leverage this thing? How can I use this to my advantage?
Exactly. You got it. See, the clear resolution method, it's not about just fixing what's broken, It's about this recognition that we all have this incredible potential within us just waiting to be unlocked. It's about becoming the best, most authentic versions of ourselves, whatever that looks like, for each individual.
So it's not even like going from feeling stuck to neutral. It's like going from neutral to like superhuman almost.
Yeah. I love that. It really is about accessing all those like untapped reserves of potential we all have, you know. And you know what's interesting? This isn't even just for people like facing major challenges in their life.
What do you mean?
Well, we tend to think of therapy, right, as something you do when things are like really bad. Like when you're really in crisis mode.
Right, like hitting the panic button?
Yeah. Exactly. But the beauty of NLP and the clear resolution method specifically is that it can be so valuable for anyone who wants to, you know, level up their life. Even if things are like pretty good already, maybe you want to be a better communicator or finally break that bad habit you've had forever or, you know, just feel more confident in your day-to-day life. This can help with that.
So it's like you don't have to wait for your engine to totally break down before you decide, hey, maybe I should tune this thing up a little bit.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah. It's like optimizing your mental and emotional performance, not just fixing what's broken, you know?
Right. Now, if someone's listening to this and thinking, okay, this all sounds incredible, but how do I know if this is right for me? Like, how do I even know where to start? What would you say to them?
I'd say trust your gut on this one. If something, you know, if this whole thing, this approach, if it resonates with you, if it sparks your curiosity, then that's probably a pretty good sign it might be worth, you know, exploring a bit further.
And what would that look like, practically speaking?
Well, Chris offers a free consultation on his website, CleaResolution, you can find it there. And it's a chance to just connect, you know, with him directly. Ask any questions you might have. Just kind of get a feel for whether this approach, you know, whether it really aligns with your goals, with your personality.
Because we're not talking about just some like self-proclaimed guru here, right?
Yes. Yeah.
This is someone who's really walked the walk, trained with the best.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. This is someone who has like dedicated his life to mastering these techniques. And remember, we mentioned Dr. Richard Bandler. Well, Chris actually studied with him directly. Like this is one of the pioneers of NLP, right? And he's also a certified rapid resolution therapy specialist, which he was trained by Dr. John Connolly, who's, I mean, he's kind of a legend in the field. So
Chris has even trained other mental health professionals in rapid resolution therapy.
okay, so he's got the credentials.
Yeah.
But what about like real world results? You know, does this stuff actually work for people? And that's the thing. That's the other thing. If you go to Chris's website, it's CleaResolution, you can read like tons of testimonials from all sorts of people who've experienced, I mean, some pretty remarkable transformations through his work. It's really something.
And it's not even just like those common things, right? Like the insomnia we were talking about or anxiety or...
No, it goes way beyond that. He's helped people with chronic pain, autoimmune disorders, even like creative blocks, you know, people trying to find their purpose. It's amazing the range of issues that the clear resolution method can actually address. It's really quite astonishing.
It really makes you think about like how powerful our minds actually are, you know, and how much potential we have to like literally change our reality if we just understand how to work with them.
That's the beauty of it, yeah. It's not about like forcing change from the outside. It's about giving you the power to create those changes from within by understanding and working with the incredible power of your own mind. Now, you mentioned earlier that Chris's approach like really emphasizes that we're wired to not just survive, but to actually thrive, right? That really stuck with me.
Right. Because it seems like so much of, you know, the self-help stuff out there, it's focused on just like fixing what's wrong. But Chris is kind of like aiming higher than that.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that those challenges, you know, the things that we want to change about ourselves, they're not like flaws in our system.
Okay. So not about like fixing what's broken.
Right. Yeah. It's more that they're often our mind's way of trying to protect us, you know, trying to keep us safe. Even if those strategies aren't really serving us in the best way anymore, like our mind is trying to help, but sometimes it needs a little guidance, you know, a little re-education to understand how to help us thrive now in the present moment, not just survive based on like past experiences.
So it's like instead of seeing those challenges as the enemy, you can learn to see them as like opportunities for growth.
Precisely. And that's where Chris's expertise comes in. Because he helps you understand those patterns, those underlying beliefs that might be holding you back.
Right.
And then he gives you the tools to actually rewrite those patterns and create lasting change.
And that's what's so exciting about this. It's not about suppressing or ignoring those parts of ourselves. It's about like harnessing their power for good.
Absolutely, yeah. It's about creating this more harmonious, this more aligned relationship with ourselves, which then, it ripples out into every area of our life, our relationships, our careers, our health, everything.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling like really inspired right now.
Me too, yeah. It's pretty amazing when you think about the untapped potential that exists within each of us, just waiting to be unlocked.
It really is. And maybe just asking that question is like the first step, just getting us thinking about what's possible, what we really want,
Yeah.
without all those limitations we put on ourselves.
Oh yeah, yeah, I love that. It's about shifting from that scarcity mindset, right, where we're always focused on what's wrong, what's missing, to a more abundant mindset, where
Mm.
we can really recognize like our own capacity for growth, for change.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the clear resolution method, this whole world of NLP, it feels like the big takeaway here isn't just about like fixing problems, but about like unlocking this whole other level of potential within ourselves.
100%, yeah. It's that recognition that, we're not defined by our past experiences. We're not defined by our current challenges. We have the power to rewrite those stories,
Hmm.
to shift those limiting beliefs and really create the lives we want.
And that's incredibly empowering, isn't it? To know that we don't have to stay stuck, that this kind of rapid change is possible, and that we have the resources within us to make it happen.
It really is. And, often all it takes is the right guidance, the right
Oh,
tools,
yeah.
and the willingness to step into that power.
So well said. So for our listeners who are ready to explore these possibilities, remember to visit Chris Richardson's website. It's CleaResolution. You can find more information about his work, read those inspiring testimonials, and even book that free consultation we were talking about. See if his approach is the right fit.
And who knows, right? That one conversation could be the thing, the catalyst to unlocking that extraordinary potential.
It's a journey worth taking. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. And until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, and keep believing in the power of transformation.